I received a comment under one of my videos. Somebody wanted information on a substance called lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is found in milk. It's part of the milk protein complex. Lactoferrin, let me just get this here a second. Lactoferrin, if you're, for example, whey protein, if you take a whey protein supplement, 0.5% of the peptide content of whey protein is lactoferrin. So translating that, if you take an average scoop of whey protein, let's say 20 grams of whey, you're getting 100 milligrams of lactoferrin. Okay, why would you be concerned about lactoferrin? What can it do for you? Okay, let's first look at what is lactoferrin. As I said, lactoferrin is classified in biochemistry as a glycoprotein, which means it's a protein attached to a sugar, and it exists naturally in milk. However, colostrum, a lot of people take colostrum supplements derived from cows. It's called bovine colostrum. Colostrum contains 7 times more lactoferrin than milk, and than whey protein. Lactoferrin is particularly concentrated in mother's milk because of the fact that babies are born with very low immunity, so they need all the help they can get. Lactoferrin is a immune stimulator. It increases your immune response. It has it can increase either what they call pro or anti-inflammatory cytokines. Cytokines are signaling proteins that the immune system uses. One of the reasons why lactoferrin is so high in the mother's milk or breast milk is because it stimulates the maturation of both T and B cells, which are the major cells of the immune response. Lactoferrin will also bind toxins that are released from intestinal bacteria called lipopolysaccharides. A lot of people, they have, let's say, I don't want to get into too many technical details. They have something called leaky gut syndrome, where the lipopolysaccharides, which are produced by the breakdown of intestinal bacteria, they're toxic, they're inflammatory, and if you have a leaky gut syndrome, they can get into your blood through small openings in the intestinal. Normally the intestine is an intact barrier, but it turns out the liposaccharides in some cases, if you have a leaky gut syndrome for various reasons beyond the scope of this video, this lipopolysaccharides can get into the blood where they cause systemic inflammation and all kinds of health problems. In fact, I wrote an article on my Applied Metabolics a couple of years ago where there's a theory that lipopolysaccharides can actually cause lowering of testosterone in men as they age. If you subscribe to Applied Metabolics, you could read that article and you could read the reasoning why. But relating to lactoferrin, lactoferrin can bind lipopolysaccharides and it prevent inflammation. And it also, then by doing so, it also helps to protect the immune system and boost the immune system. Now, lactoferrin is most well known, however, if you look at the word lactoferrin. Lacto refers to milk, ferrin refers to iron. And that lactoferrin, it's one of its main properties, it's an iron-binding protein. Now, why is that important? Well, for one thing, certain pathological organisms, such as certain types of bacteria, they need to have iron in order to replicate. If lactoferrin binds the iron, basically the bacteria dies off. So this is still another way that lactoferrin boosts your immune response to pathological organisms such as bacteria. In addition, lactoferrin has what they call a direct cytotoxic effect. It can directly destroy bacteria that it encounters. It also inhibits the formation of something called biofilm that's needed for the bacteria to spread. And it also increases sensitivity of pathogens to certain drugs, antibacterial drugs that help. In other words, lactoferrin will work with certain drugs, let's say antibacterial drugs, that kill bacteria and help you heal after being infected by a bacterial organism. Lactoferrin also inhibits the replication of viruses. In fact, some recent studies show that the lactoferrin might be able to inhibit the spread of the virus that causes COVID-19. So that's another way that lactoferrin helps. As far as the microbiome, I mentioned that the lactoferrin can be considered a prebiotic because it restores the intestinal homeostasis. It limits the colonization and proliferation of pathogenic bacteria in the intestinal microbiome, which are known to cause disease. In relation to pregnancy, some studies show that lactoferrin has the ability to help prevent miscarriages and premature delivery. And they also, lactoferrin secreted in a woman's breast milk can also prevent bacterial infections in a newborn baby. Lactoferrin also has neuroprotective properties, meaning that it protects the brain. By affecting iron metabolism, it can bind iron. Why would that protect the brain? Iron, as you probably know, is an essential mineral. It functions mainly to help in the development of red blood cells, which carry oxygen to cells, very important. If you don't have enough iron, you get a certain type of anemia. Unfortunately, iron is stored bound to proteins in the body. It's also transferred in the blood bound to other proteins. However, if iron somehow disassociates from the proteins which it's supposed to bind with, it becomes free iron, which is very oxidative. It's very reactive. And in the brain, your brain is composed mostly of fat. Of course, it has the neurons, it has proteins in their mitochondria, but there's a lot of fat in the brain. It's particularly, for example, DHA, which is one of the two active omega-3 fatty acids. Your brain, 40% of your brain is made of DHA. Unfortunately, DHA as a polyunsaturated fat is highly prone to oxidation. And scientists know that oxidation plays a huge role in the cause of neurodegenerative brain diseases, including Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Now, where does lactoferrin come in? Well, free iron in the brain stimulates serious oxidative reactions that destroy neurons in the hippocampus area of the brain, which would have to do with Alzheimer's disease, and in the substantia nigra part or nucleus accumbens area of the brain, where neurons that are destroyed in that section of the brain, it causes Parkinson's disease. And because lactoferrin can bind iron, it'll prevent the oxidative reactions in the brain that's caused by free iron. Also, another way that lactoferrin helps the brain is that it enhances the production of a brain substance called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This has been compared to fertilizer for the brain, some people call it, because it maintains the health of brain cells or neurons, and it might actually help you develop new brain connections. And so that basically it'll keep your brain going. And lactoferrin is one of the many substances that stimulate brain neurotrophic factor. Some studies indicate that lactoferrin might also provide anti-cancer effects. How does it do that? Well, one way it does that, it inhibits a process called angiogenesis. What is angiogenesis? Angiogenesis is the development of new blood vessels. Now, tumor cells, let me put it this way, oncologists are cancer specialists. They don't like to tell this fact I'm about to tell you to people, but the way it works is this. They always tell you to look for early signs of cancer. The reason for that is if a cancer or a tumor is discovered in its original site early enough, it's much more amenable to treatment that can cure the cancer. Let me give you a flat statement. if they discover a tumor in situ, meaning it's an original site, it's about 90% curable. However, once the cancer has spread or metastasized, then it's only 10% curable. And that's what they don't like to tell you. That they want you to believe that most type of cancers are easily curable. They are if they're caught early enough. But once they spread or metastasize, there's a much less chance of surviving, only 10%. This is why pancreatic cancer is the most deadly form of cancer, because it doesn't give you many early symptoms, and by the time they find it, it's spread all throughout your internal organs, and there's very little they can do for you. No chemo or no radioactive treatment will help. That's why pancreatic cancer is so dangerous. But now, how does angiogenesis come into play? In order for tumor cells to spread, they have to sprout or develop new blood vessels. If they can't develop new blood vessels, the tumor undergoes a process called apoptosis, which is where basically it destroys itself. So if you could block the development of new blood vessels in tumors, you could basically cure the cancer. Now, what does lactoferrin do? It inhibits angiogenesis, and by doing so, it helps prevent the spread of cancer. And also iron plays a role, because iron, as I said, free iron or unbound iron is highly reactive. It causes oxidation reactions, and they know that products of oxidation, such as free radicals, can damage the cell membrane, which is composed mainly of fat, and cause the development of cellular mutations, which are cancer, which can turn into cancer. Lactoferrin also helps prevent cancer by preventing cell proliferation. Now, cancer, there's 100 different kinds of cancer. It's a general term. But the one thing they have in common is uncontrolled cell growth, also known as cell proliferation. Lactoferrin can inhibit cell proliferation. Another way that lactoferrin inhibits cancer is what they call cell cycle regulation. This is a process that also where tumors can grow and spread. The lactoferrin also, because of the effect on stimulating cytokines, those immune proteins that allow the immune cells to communicate with each other, it basically sets up immune cells such as T cells that will attack tumors when they're in the early stages and destroy them. Everybody, believe it or not, gets cancer, but you never know it because your T cells, especially killer T cells, they sense the development of a tumor in cells and they destroy it before it has a chance to develop and metastasize, so you never even know about it. So the lactoferrin actually promotes that type of response. Another way that lactoferrin protects your cells is by protecting DNA. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is the so-called blueprint of cells that's involved in cellular replication. Lactoferrin promotes the repair of DNA. Your DNA is constantly being assaulted. Even as we speak, these free radicals, these substances are trying to break down DNA. And your body has a repair system. If it didn't, we'd all be dead or dying of cancer or just dead very fast, because without DNA, you're basically dead. So your body does have inherent mechanisms to repair DNA, but the lactoferrin and, again, other nutrients promote DNA repair and help prevent cancer and cell mutations. And also, I should point out that DNA repair is one of the secrets of aging. In other words, people who live, you hear about these people living to 100 and more. Some of them live to maybe 109, 110. Why do they live longer? What's the secret? Well, a lot of these people, I should point out, don't do anything special. They don't. Some of them never engage in exercise. They don't follow calorie restricted or other anti-aging diets, and yet somehow they make it to these advanced ages. How do you account for that? I'll tell you how you account for that. These people who live to 100 or more are what I call mutants. They're genetic mutants. They have a heightened DNA repair system. And this also explains the longevity of certain animals. Like I think it's called I forgot what the name of it, a certain type of whale that lives to about 200 years, and I can go on and on various animals, but they all have what they have in common is they have greater DNA repair. If you have greater DNA repair, your DNA remains more stable, your cells stay alive, and you stay alive. So lactoferrin is involved in DNA repair. Again, it's involved in cell cycle regulation, which is important for cellular replication. It helps to regulate apoptosis. Apoptosis, I mentioned that in relation to tumors, but in relation to cell replication, your body can sense when cells aren't replicating properly, when there's a chance where they could become abnormal and turn into tumor cells. And what happens is the cells can sense that, and they undergo a process of self-destruction called apoptosis, and lactoferrin helps to regulate apoptosis. As I said, lactoferrin also has an antioxidant effect by helping to control iron, and it reduces oxidative damage throughout the body, and it helps to scavenge the free radicals, which are the byproducts of oxygen metabolism that cause oxidative damage. Some studies show that lactoferrin helps to prevent infections in the genital tract and their consequences, such as endometriosis, which is a overproliferation of uterine tissue in women that can cause a lot of pain and problems. What else did I leave out? Let me see. I think I got anti-aging. As I think I mentioned that some of the effects of lactoferrin on anti-aging include the cell proliferation protection, apoptosis inhibition. In other words, when you're aging, you want to keep a control over apoptosis or cell destruction because when you lose cells, you age. So lactoferrin helps to regulate it in a way that prevents excessive apoptosis, which would prematurely age you. Lactoferrin helps to control various metabolic disorders that would also increase the aging process. As I said earlier, it helps protect the brain, neuroprotection, and it also has a anti-cancer effect on the mitochondrial metabolism and biogenesis regulation. It helps to protect your mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of cells. This is the portion of cells where energy is created as ATP and fat is oxidized in a process called beta oxidation. Okay, so I think I've covered, there's a lot more detail you can get into about lactoferrin, but I don't want this video to go on forever. I'm already at the 18 mark. This is what I aim for, 18 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop here other than to answer the obvious question. If lactoferrin is so beneficial, should I consider taking lactoferrin supplements? Now, they do exist. I should tell you, there's a lot of companies. If you go online, you'll see there's a lot of companies selling lactoferrin supplements. I guess what they've done over the years is they've increased the effectiveness of producing lactoferrin in supplement form, because years ago, like in the early 90s, when whey protein first became popular, to get isolated lactoferrin in a supplement would be a very expensive proposition. It would cost several $100s for each bottle. So that's why you didn't see any lactoferrin supplements back then, because it was only used in scientific studies. And of course, it's also obtained naturally in milk and colostrum. And of course, the most readily available source, as I said at the beginning of this video, is whey. Whey protein, again, 0.5% lactoferrin. Each scoop of whey will provide you with 100 milligrams of lactoferrin. So what that means is if you're taking a whey protein supplement, a good quality whey protein supplement, for example, whey protein isolate, then you're probably getting enough lactoferrin. And also, another thing to consider, lactoferrin is produced naturally in the body. As a matter of fact, it's one of the main constituents of tears. When you cry, your tears actually have natural antibacterial substances in there, and one of them is lactoferrin. So your body also naturally produces lactoferrin. But again, if you want to take advantage of some of the effects I discussed in this video, just take a whey protein. Or if you prefer, if you have problems with whey protein, you could buy isolated lactoferrin supplements. They've come down. They've come down hugely in price over the years. They're just about the same amount. The cost is about the same as other supplements. If you want to try it, if you feel a need for a little bit of immune stimulation, or and still a third option is, and a lot of people do this, is to take a colostrum supplement. I'm going to have an upcoming article in my Applied Metabolics publication on the many properties of colostrum, and I'm also going to expose some of the myths about colostrum, such as that it has huge amounts of insulin-like growth factor 1, but I'm not going to get into it now. But the point being, as I said earlier, colostrum contains 7 times greater amounts of lactoferrin compared to whey. So that's still another way to do it. So I'm going to end the video here. If you want more information on nutrition, exercise science, anti-aging research, ergogenic aids, supplement science, which supplements work, which ones don't. I'm not aligned or associated with any supplement company. So anything you hear from me is going to be the 100% truth. Why am I even saying this? Because 98% of videos pertaining to nutrition on YouTube are kind of like slick infomercials, where it looks like they're giving you solid information, but if you really listen carefully, you'll notice they always slip a commercial in there, because a lot of these people are shills. They're being paid off or being paid or have contracts with supplement companies to push their supplements. One way of knowing this, if you look in the information box under the video, if it says something like 20% discount on so-and-so supplements, they are shills. They are working or being paid for supplement companies. So you really can't trust their information, because they have ulterior motives. They make money by selling you these supplements. You'll never see that in my Applied Metabolics. If I have to talk about a supplement in Applied Metabolics, I talk about it generically. I say whey protein. I won't give brand names. I'm not saying that there isn't good brand names out there, but I am not a shill for these companies, and I'm not going to push their products. The best thing for you to do is to kind of research that on your own. Look at different reviews and look at the contents. I've done past videos. I've discussed this in my Applied Metabolics publication, how you could discern good, solid supplements from crap, from stuff that they're ripping you off. You'll find all the truth, nothing held back in Applied Metabolics. I discuss, as I mentioned, anti-aging research. I discuss women's health and fitness. I discuss more topics in Applied Metabolics than any other digital publication related to nutrition and exercise. And there's no other digital publication, I hasten to add, that comes with 61 years of experience and constant study as Applied Metabolic. Nothing could match that. Nobody could match that. I don't care if you get 42 PhDs from Harvard, Yale, and Columbia, and Stanford, you're still not going to match 61 years of empirical knowledge and constant study. It just can't be matched, if I say so myself. Anyway, so I strongly suggest that you subscribe to Applied Metabolics. It's not expensive at all. 33 cents a day it costs. It's at www.appliedmetabolics.com. You will not be sorry. I guarantee you will learn. And yes, it's a little bit lengthy, because the articles in Applied Metabolics are extremely in-depth. As a result, each issue, it comes out on the 1st of every month. Each issue is anywhere from 32 to 50 pages. Solid information, no ads. And the reason why the articles are a little on the long side is because I cover the waterfront, literally. I give you, again, here's another cliche hurled at you. I cover the kitchen sink. In other words, everything known about any topic is in each article, including both sides. I talk about the good and the bad, and if I offer an opinion, I label it as such. Rather than present my opinion as fact, I will tell you it's my opinion. So, as I said, I'm also a professional writer. I've been writing for over 45 years. I've had thousands and thousands of articles published. For over a decade, I was an editor at the Weider magazines, Muscle and Fitness and Flexed. I've interviewed thousands of, hundreds and hundreds of bodybuilders. I've worked with professional athletes. So my background, I would suggest, is pretty solid. So again, www.appliedmetabolics.com. When you subscribe, shoot me an email, and I'll send you an invitation to join my private Applied Metabolic Facebook page, where each day I post new information, brand new information on nutrition, exercise, and general health. If I also have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics website, where current subscribers only, I don't accept unsolicited questions. Current subscribers only can send me short questions about anything they read in Applied Metabolics or anything that comes to mind that pertains to nutrition, exercise, and I will be happy to answer the question as a bonus for your subscription to Applied Metabolics and an appreciation of your subscription to Applied Metabolics. The unsolicited questions, I'm sorry, I don't have the time to answer them. My subscribers come first in that respect, but you're welcome to leave comments under my videos, and you could also, you're welcome to subscribe to my videos. My videos are absolutely free. I don't make any money off them. I'm giving solid information, and it's very easy to subscribe. I come out with a new video every Tuesday. Again, there's no fancy graphics. There's no, I don't have all that video equipment, and frankly, I'm not into video editing. It bores the crap out of me. That's not my thing. So I'm just giving you the plain vanilla talking head videos, but it's solid 100% information that you could count on. Same with my Applied Metabolics. So the only other thought I'll leave you with here, if you want to have the best friend you'll ever have, go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. I am going to adopt a dog very soon. I'm going to start looking at shelters. I would only go to a shelter, by the way, just so you know. I know that there's some people they have a penchant for purebred dogs, whether it's the little dogs or the bigger dogs or, don't get me wrong, purebred dogs, some of them are just golden retrievers among my favorite dogs. They're just fantastic dogs. Pit bulls are lovely dogs. Contrary to their bad reputation, they're among the most gentle, sweet dogs you could imagine. I have nothing against purebred dogs, other than the fact that they, trust me when I say this, they have a lot more veterinary problems, especially when they get older, than the so-called mutts. My dogs have always been mutts. Somehow that word mutt sounds derogatory, but everybody, if you think about it, is a mutt. Unless your parents are brothers and sisters, we're all mutts. But that's besides the point. The point being that, the shelters have fantastic dogs. They're great, and, go to your local shelter. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow my own advice, and I'm going to pick out a dog. It's going to be tough because the way I am, I'd want to adopt every single dog in the shelter. If I had a way, trust me when I say this, if I had a way of clearing out every kill shelter and taking all those dogs with me, I would do it in a second. I wouldn't even hesitate. If I had the money of a guy like Musk or Bezos, I'd buy this huge tract of land somewhere, and I'd have a gigantic rescue where I rescue every dog everywhere that's in a shelter. Because to me, they're like angelic animals. They're the best friends you could ever have. So, all right, I went into a little rant about dogs. Sorry about that. But what can I say? Thank you for listening. Take care.